Nested classes in Java. In Java, a class can be defined within another class, and such classes are known as nested class. These classes help you to logically group classes that are only used in one place. These increase the use of encapsulation and creates a more readable and maintainable code. In Java, just like methods, variables of a class too can have another classes as its member. Writing a class within another is allowed in Java. The class written within is called the nested class, and the class that holds the inner class is called the outer class. Nested classes can be classified as below. Non-static nested class. These are the non-static members of a class. Number 2. Static nested classes. These are the static members of a class. Nested class and inner class are the same thing. Classification is showing in the diagram. Nested class can be classified as inner class and static nested class. Again, inner class can be subdivided as inner class, method local inner class, anonymous inner class. Inner class, non-static nested class. Inner classes are a security mechanism in Java. We know a class cannot be associated with the access modifier private, but if we have the class as a member of other class, then the inner class can be made private, and this is also used to access the private members of a class. Inner class are of three types depending on how they were you define them. There are inner class, that is nested class, method local inner class, anonymous inner class. Inner class, that is nested class. Creating a inner class is quite simple. You just need to write a class within a class. Unlike a class, an inner class can be private, and once you declare an inner class private, it cannot be accessed from an object outside the class. I am showing you one example. See, in the example, I am having a outer class which contains a data member int num, and within it I have created an inner class called inner demo, it having a method name as print. After that, I am defining the method of the outer class name as display inner. Within that, I am creating the object of the inner class, and by using the inner class method, I am calling the method of the inner class. After that, my main class is there. Within the main class, I am creating the object of the outer class, and using the object of the outer class, I am calling the method of the outer class. Inner class accessing the private members. As mentioned earlier, inner classes are also used to access the private members of a class. Suppose a class is having private members. To access them, write an inner class in it. Return the private member from a method within the inner class, say get value, and finally from another class from which you want to access the private member, call the get value method of the inner class. To instantiate the inner class, initially you have to instantiate the outer class, the reference using the object of the outer class. Following is the way in which you can instantiate the inner class. Showing you one example. In this example, I am having a outer class name as outer underscore demo. It having a private data member int num which contains 175. After that, I am having a inner class name as inner underscore demo. It having a method getNum, return type of it is int, and finally it will return the num, which is the private data member of the outer class. After that, my main class, within my main class, I am creating the object of the outer class, and I'm creating the object of the inner class. The syntax may be new to you. See, before in the lower part of the program, I have write outer demo dot inner demo, and after that I am creating the object. In this way, I am creating the inner class object, and within the system dot out dot println, I am calling the method of the inner class getNum. Method local inner class. In Java, we can write a class within a method, and this will be a local type. Like local variable, the scope of the inner class is restricted within the method. A method local inner class can be instantiated only within the method where the inner class is different. The following program shows how to use a method local inner class, showing you one example. In this example, I am having a outer class name as outer class. After that, its method is there, name as my method. Within the method, its value int num equal to 23 is initialized. After that, within the method body, I have declared a method name as method inner underscore demo, and it having a method name as print. And after that, inner class ends. And after the within the body of the outer class method, I am creating the object of the inner class method and calling the method of the inner class. After that, from my main function, I am creating the outer class object and calling the method of it. Anonymous inner class. An inner class declared without a class name is known as anonymous inner. In case of anonymous inner class, we declare the instance them at the same time. Generally, they are used whenever you need to override the method of a class or an instance. The syntax of the anonymous inner class is showing in the following examples. I am having a abstract class name as anonymous inner. It having a abstract method name as my method. And in my outer class, which contains the main, I am basically creating the instance of the abstract class at the same time defining the method which is undefined in the abstract class, and after that I am calling the method of it. Anonymous inner class as argument. Generally, if a method accepts an object of an interface, an abstract class or a concrete class, then we can implement the interface, extend the abstract class and pass the object to the method. If it is a class, then we can directly pass it to the method. But in all the three cases, you can pass an anonymous inner class to the method. Showing you one example. In this example, I am having an interface name as message, and it contains a method signature name as greets, which return type is string. And after that, I am having a class called anonymous2, it having a method name display message, which accept the instance of a interface. And after that, it will print some value. And after that, my main method starts, and within the main method, I am defining the object of the previously defined class anonymous2, and after that I am calling the method of the previously defined class and passing the object of the message interface. Static nested class. A static inner class is a nested class which is the static member of outer class. It can be accessed without instantiating the outer class using other static members. Just like static members, a static nested class does not have access to the instance variable and method of the outer class. The syntax of the static nested class is as follows. See, I am having a outer class name as outer1, and within it I have created a static class called as a nested demo, and it having a method my underscore method, it having some syntax. And after that, my main function starts, and within main function I am creating the object of the inner class using the outer class name an inner class name, and after that I am calling the method of the inner class. Thank you for listening us. We will meet again in the upcoming classes.